We've been working on a vision for our church, and that vision comes in three parts. There's community, there's worship, and there's service. Now, those are three broad headings that everything else kind of fits into, but it's been a real journey exploring exactly what that means, I guess, for our church. And community is the one I've been focusing on because myself and two of my friends will be preaching on these three themes consecutively, and I'll be preaching on community. And I've been thinking about how it is that we can foster community. How can we build community in our church? And the way I see it, there's two primary things that we can do. One is be valiant, and one is be vulnerable. Now, I specifically chose those words because, they both start with V. It makes it easier to remember. But be valiant and be vulnerable. So what that means is being valiant is a case of taking the initiative, being the first one to initiate the conversation, being the one to invite someone else over to your place to have that conversation. But the next stage requires, I won't say the opposite because they're not mutually exclusive, but you got to be vulnerable, because if somebody thinks that you've got it all together and you're this perfect person, well then they're highly unlikely to share anything. As a matter of fact, there's an excellent interviewer that I was listening to talk about his style of interviewing, and he said the very best advice that I can give you is before you even get underway, share something embarrassing about yourself to the person that you're going to be interviewing, and whether they realize it or not, that will lower their desire to hide things from you, and so they'll just come right out and say it pretty much. So I think vulnerability is something that we lose the art of because we don't want to seem incompetent, we don't want to seem like a failure, and so instead we keep our barriers up as high as possible and let everybody believe that maybe we are perfect, and it doesn't actually work in the long run because then relationships never get built. So that would be my recommendation. One, be valiant or be courageous to be the one to reach out and make that connection with somebody, and secondly, be vulnerable. Be willing to share your weaknesses with them. Not that it should be a recital of how bad you are, but don't try to hide the truth about the situation. So that's my thought for today, and you guys have a great afternoon, considering whenever it is you may be watching this.